Good morning, everyone. This is, what is today? I don't even know what today is. It's Wednesday, December 5th, I think? 6th? I don't know. Days are running together for me, and it's been quite the weekend. Today is our annual cookie baking day that me and Olivia are going to do. We'll spend all day baking Christmas cookies. My sister Becky is supposed to come over later and join us, so I don't know how much vlogging I'll do today because I don't know if she really wants to be on YouTube. But I've got my hair put up in a nice bun, and I put on this headband that I crocheted, and I think it's kind of cute, really. I wouldn't wear it in public, but it'll do a good job of keeping the hair out of the food today. So let's go get organized in the kitchen. Well, before we can do any baking, I gotta get these dishes cleaned up. These are from breakfast and from snacks last night. I'm gonna do up these dishes before we get going with the baking. I hate to start a big baking project with a sink full of dishes. And fill you guys in on what's been going on with us the last few days. Last Friday, Scott started having muscle spasms in his neck and his shoulders, his trapezius muscles, and they wind up pinching a nerve, and so he's been having numbness and tingling and severe pain in his shoulders and neck, and so he has been off of work. He's lost 3 days of work now. And we went to the doctor, and I'm sorry, if any of you are doctors or are related to doctors, I'm having less and less confidence in doctors. We went knowing it was a pinched nerve, and all he needed was some muscle relaxer, anti-inflammatory pain medicine. And so we go to the doctor to get those things, and the doctor is freaking me out, scaring me to death, because, well, typically, if it's a pinched nerve, you don't have numbness in both arms. So we have to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this test. He rattled off probably 10 different blood tests that he needed to have done, and then he's like, and then we're going to get an x-ray of your neck, and then we're going to get you a MRI of your brain because you might have MS, and then we're going to refer you to a neurologist. And I'm sitting here freaking out thinking, is my husband going to be like disabled for the rest of his life? Does he have something really seriously wrong with him? And I was really freaking out. And so we went right over to the hospital and got the blood work done and got the x-ray done. And one of the things that they checked for in the blood was Lyme's disease. So we were thinking, well, maybe he has Lyme's disease because he does spend a lot of time outside. And the doctor said that only 25% of the people that get Lyme's disease actually even remember the tick bite that gave it to him. And because Scott's like, I don't remember being bit by a tick. So I'm freaking out all Monday night. I was really upset about the whole thing, thinking, what in the world are we going to do if he can't work anymore, or if he has something really seriously wrong with him. And didn't sleep hardly at all. And then Tuesday morning, he gets a call from the doctor's office, and all of his blood tests came back normal. He doesn't have any Lyme's disease. He doesn't have, I don't even know what they tested for. I know they tested his thyroid, which was normal. They tested his B12 level, which was normal. And then they tested all these other, he just kept rattling off these initials. So I don't even know what they were testing for. And so, in the meantime, Scott told the nurse, he's like, well, I'm still in agony here, and I'm still having these horrible muscle spasms, and I need some medicine for him. So the doctor prescribed something, called it in, and I had to go to the pharmacy and pick it up. And so he's been taking that, and things are starting to get better. He only had one muscle spasm this morning, but and some of the, I think the nerve problem that he was having is starting to go away, because he was having really weird sensations in his arm last night, which I think was partially like the nerve becoming unpinched, because the neck x-ray showed he has arthritis in his neck and degenerative disc disease, which is like, well, yeah, that's why he has a pinched nerve, which we knew it was a pinched nerve. All along we knew it was a pinched nerve. So he's supposed to go Monday for this brain MRI, which those suckers, those tests cost, I would bet you it's going to be at least $4,000 for that test, if not more. And so Scott's talking to the nurse, and he's like, well, then I'm assuming I don't need to go get that brain MRI. Well, no, he still wants you to go get that so that they can make sure you don't have MS. But he also wants you to get another MRI on your neck. I'm like, those doctors, I'm telling you what, all they know what to do, all they know how to do anymore is order tests and refer you to a specialist. And it's like, I don't even have a clue how much all that blood work's going to cost. I would bet you we have already racked up easily $1,200 to $1,500 just through the blood tests and those x-rays. And we have Scott couldn't remember, it's either a $1,200 or $1,600 deductible, which basically means we have to pay all of it. And here he's lost 3 days of work, and now we have a $1,000 medical bill that we're going to have to pay. And all because I knew it was a stinking pinched nerve. And the doctor won't listen, just wouldn't listen to us. And I don't know if they're just so afraid of being sued or why they do that anymore, because this doctor, we've had this doctor for almost 20 years, and it's just within the last, I don't know, 8 years maybe, that he's become so stinking paranoid. So anyway, I'm about 99% sure we are not doing that MRI on Monday, because there is nothing wrong with his brain. And I don't know if we'll do a neck MRI or not.
Well, there might be something.
The purpose of the neck MRI is to specifically pinpoint where the problem is, so that if he needs to get like a cortisone shot or whatever, they can know exactly where to put the medicine. So anyway, now we've got that to deal with. And then on top of that, I go out to do my chores this morning. And my duck Bianca, she's the one that's been lame for years. She's just really struggled with walking for the last two to 3 years. And she's been in an isolation pen, a smaller pen, for a long time. But I don't know if it's because it's gotten really, really cold or what it is. But I went out there this morning, and she literally is like down and cannot get her legs up underneath of her. So I had to go out and figure out a way to make her area smaller, so she just is forced to be still, and where she can get to the food and water very easily without moving. So I spent an hour this morning doing that, and now we're trying to get cleaned up and get things organized to make cookies. And so yeah, so it's after 10 o'clock and we haven't even started yet, but that's okay. We're not doing school today. This is our schooling today, and it's going to be a fun day. So I will bring you along. I don't know how much I will video. Like I said, my sister may not want to be on camera, and I'm not going to show you every recipe that we do, but I'll do maybe a couple of them, maybe the ones that are more unusual. I will video them for you. So we'll talk to you in a bit. I'm going to show you this recipe. This is Travis's favorite, and he asks for this every year, and that's what they look like, and they're called cherry poppy seed twinks, but we call them thumbprint cookies. And this is the only time of the year he gets them, And I make a double batch because he really, really likes them. And we give cookies away as presents to people. And so anyway, for a double batch, you need a pound of butter. Yeah, I said a pound of butter. It's crazy. 2 cups of powdered sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 eggs, 4 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons of poppy seeds, half a teaspoon of salt, and instead of cherry preserves, we use raspberry, just because he likes that better than cherry. So I'm going to get all the ingredients together and then we'll be back. Okay, so in this pan I've got the powdered sugar and the butter, and you're supposed to beat until light and fluffy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And when that's ready to light and fluffy, we'll be back. So once the butter and sugar is light and fluffy, you add the vanilla and the egg. So I need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I just overran it. 2 and 2 eggs. And I can't even believe I had to buy eggs for my baking today. I haven't had to buy an egg in 10 years probably. So 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then you blend that well. Okay, so to that then you add the flour, the poppy seeds, and the salt, and you mix that well. So when I get that all done, I'll be back and I'll show you what the dough looks like. Here's the dough, what it looks like. And you put it by rounded teaspoonfuls on an ungreased cookie sheet, and then you put a little indentation in it with your thumb and you fill it with jelly, and then you bake it at 300 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. So when these are out of the oven, I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so these are the cherry poppy seed twinks, or thumbprint as I call them, that are done. And my sister sampled one and Travis sampled one. And did you sample one, Olivia? And they turned out good as usual. My sister had to go home. She couldn't stay all day. So she's gone. And then we've got no bakes are done. We made a bunch of these because these are my brother's favorites, and my mom always used to make him no bakes for Christmas, and so I'm going to put a package together to take to him this Christmas. And then I've got coconut macaroon dough in here, and I got some in the oven. But right now we are taking a lunch break. I'm having a salad, and Olivia is having noodles. So we're going to enjoy our lunch, and then we will be back and I'll show you what we get done next. I'm going to be doing a cookie now. It's called Double Chocolate Snowquakes. And I'll read off the ingredients. It's 1½ cups of flour, 3/4 a cup cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 3/4 a teaspoon salt, 1/3 cup unsalted butter. Now we have salted butter, so she'll just put less salt in. 3/4 a cup of brown sugar, 1/4 a cup sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 1¼ cups chocolate chips, and then a cup of confectioner's sugar that you roll the balls in. After they're done, I guess. I'll have to read the directions. But anyway, so here goes Olivia. She's going to make her cookies. got done most so far. We've got coconut macaroons, which are Scott's favorite, and those are gluten-free. And then we've got snickerdoodles, which are, Travis really loves these, but these are made out of gluten-free flour because my pastor has to do gluten-free, and snickerdoodles are his favorite cookie. So I made the snickerdoodles gluten-free this year. These are the double chocolate ones that Olivia made. Then we've got the raspberry thumbprint. And we've got the no bakes, which these are gluten-free. So we're going to make up a tray to take to church, and it's going to have the gluten-free cookies on it. And we have one more tray of cookies in the oven, the last cookie tray of snickerdoodles, and then I'm going to be making some candy. So I'm going to show you that recipe. So let's get the candy going. So this candy that I'm making is very, very easy. Basically, in this double boiler, I have got 2 packages of chocolate chips, and I'm melting them. And you want to do this over a double boiler because when you're working with chocolate, it's easy for it to burn, and you really don't want that to happen. So you just keep stirring this until it's completely melted. And I don't measure anything. This is just a recipe I made up, and I made it so that I could eat it actually, because this is my dairy-free chocolate chips. So it looks like those chocolate chips are just about melted. I'll give it just a couple more seconds. And then once the chocolate is completely melted, you just add whatever nuts and dried fruit that you like or that you have on hand. And I've tried this with several different nuts and fruits, and we decided that we liked salted peanuts the best. We tried the unsalted, and I don't know, just that little bit of salt that are on these salted peanuts just adds something to it. So I've just got some regular salted peanuts here. I just keep these in a jar because my husband loves to snack on peanuts. And you just pour some in. Like I said, I don't measure. And you just stir them in. And then the dried fruit that I'm going to use this time are these cherries that I got at Costco. I'm going to dump some of those in. I've used cranberries, dried cranberries before, and those are really, really good. I don't typically use raisins because I'm not a huge fan of raisins. So I usually use either dried cranberries or dried cherries. So it looks like I could use a bit more nuts in there. But actually it's just pretty much, the options are endless that you can use in this. You can use coconut, you could use walnuts, you could use pistachio nuts, shelled of course. Just, you know, any kind of fruit and nut that you want. It has to be a dried fruit though. You could use apricots, dried apricots, that would be really yummy. So, okay. So you basically just keep adding until the mixture looks like this. You want it to have plenty of chocolate, but you want it to be really full of the fruit and the nuts. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera over to the table and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so then all you do next is you can either use 2 spoons, or I've got this little mini scoop, and you just scoop the mixture out onto parchment paper. I've got parchment paper on here, and that is kind of big. You might want, because these are rich. I mean, it's pretty rich. Now I used the dark chocolate chips, so it's not quite as rich as if you would use milk chocolate chips. But yeah, they're really, really yummy. So that's basically the size you want them. I would say maybe a tablespoon. And then you just leave them set here until they harden. And it takes a little while because it's chocolate chips and they just have to go back to their solid state. You don't add anything to it. You don't add any shortening, butter, nothing. It's just plain old chocolate chips melted and fruit and nuts added. Okay, when I get these all spooned out, we'll be back. Candies. Now I did end up adding some coconut to them. This first row don't have coconut in them, and the rest do. Just because they needed a little something extra. It was too runny, and Olivia's like, "Oh, coconut would be so good in those." So I went ahead and added some coconut. Okay, so this is our day's work, and we are pretty much done with the holiday baking. I may do another batch of cookies on down the road if I need them, but this will probably be enough for all the gifts that we are going to give and the carry-in dinner at church that we have for Christmas. Hey friends, I think I'm going to close the vlog out here. It's been a long day, but it's been a fun day. The older Olivia gets, the more fun it is to bake with her, and the quicker we get done. So it's been a really great day. Thanks a lot for coming along with us and watching us bake today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you later. Bye friends.